It started with a smell. A smell my stepdaughter couldn't stand. And it wasn't the garbage. It wasn't anything rotting in the fridge. It was the scent of my cat's food. From the moment she moved in, it was like this invisible war began, one I never saw coming. She had come to live with my husband and me for a year, a temporary arrangement so she could save money to buy her own home. An educated, young professional, smart and capable. We wanted to help her. We thought it would be a peaceful year, but it wasn't. At first, it was little things. Pointed comments about how we weren't environmentally conscious enough, how we should compost our waste, how leaving lights on when we left the house was negligent, how we should switch to electric cars and stop consuming dairy because of its connection to the inhumane treatment of cows. I didn't agree with all of it, but I respected her convictions. People have the right to their beliefs. I thought we could live together, agree to disagree, and then Mango became the target. Mango is my cat. He's an old man now, gray whiskers, a slow, deliberate gait, a life fully lived. And for every one of his years, he's eaten exactly what makes him happy and healthy. Good quality, meat-based cat food, not cheap filler, not processed garbage. The kind of food you'd expect Gordon Ramsay to approve of if he ever cooked for a cat. But my stepdaughter couldn't bear it. She told us, flat out, that she wanted to switch Mango to vegan cat food. She said watching him eat meat made her sick. And she wasn't exaggerating. If she saw him eating, she would gag, run out of the kitchen, even throw up. At first, I thought it was just discomfort. But then I saw her losing weight. Real weight. Her clothes hung looser. She told us she'd lost her appetite entirely, that even smelling his food in the morning was too much. And it didn't matter if the food was neatly contained, if the doors were open for ventilation. She'd smell it, wrinkle her nose, and flee the room. I felt sorry for her. I really did. No one should feel trapped in their own home by something as simple as mealtime. But this wasn't about an adjustable habit. This was about the basic survival of another living being. Cats aren't built to be vegan. They are obligate carnivores. Without meat, they get sick. They can die. So I said no. She begged. She cried. She cursed at us. She accused us of being selfish, of prioritizing an animal's diet over her health. She told us Mango wouldn't hurt from a change in diet, but she was hurting. She insisted that if we truly cared, we'd make the switch. Her father and I told her the truth. If she couldn't handle it, she'd need to find somewhere else to live. That only made things worse. The arguments became sharper, her voice louder, her eyes more desperate. And then she brought in reinforcements. My mother-in-law. Suddenly, I was being called cruel, short-sighted. My mill told me I was letting my stepdaughter get sick over something that could be solved. She echoed the same line. The cat won't be hurt by a vegan diet, but your stepdaughter is suffering. I wanted to scream, because I knew, deep down, without question, that if I gave in, Mango could suffer in ways they weren't imagining. Malnutrition, organ failure, a slow, painful decline. And Mango, he didn't have the words to defend himself. He relied on me to do that for him. I thought about everything. About this woman, my stepdaughter, clearly struggling. About the fact she was losing weight, withdrawing from the kitchen, avoiding the smell of kibble like it was poison. About whether something deeper might be going on. An eating disorder, anxiety, something she didn't want to name. But I also thought about loyalty, responsibility, how I had promised to give Mango the life he deserved, to keep him safe, especially in his old age. How could I betray that because someone else's discomfort had reached its breaking point? And then, the arguments reached a place I couldn't come back from. One night, after yet another shouting match, she stood in the doorway of the kitchen and told me she felt like I was choosing mango over her, that I was valuing the life of a cat over the well-being of my own family. Her voice cracked. She looked pale, thinner than she had when she moved in. I didn't answer right away, because the truth was, I was choosing mango, not over her as a person, but over her demands, over her insistence that her beliefs should dictate the health of another living creature, over the pressure to bend when I knew bending could cause harm. I told her, gently but firmly, that this wasn't negotiable, that if she couldn't live with mango-eating meat, she would have to make other arrangements. She stormed off, slammed her bedroom door, and the silence afterward felt heavier than any of our arguments. Since then, she's been distant. My MIL still calls, still says I'm being unfair. The tension lingers in the air, like smoke after a fire. We share the same space, but not the same peace. I see her avoiding the kitchen when Mango is eating. I see her picking at her food, pushing it around her plate. I worry about her. But I also watch Mango, his eyes closing in quiet contentment as he chews his meal. And I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that I did right by him. Because here's the truth. Sometimes the people you love will ask you to do something that goes against your own moral compass. And sometimes, saying no is the only way to protect what you hold dear. So, am I the asshole? I'll tell you what I think. This isn't just about cat food. It's about boundaries. It's about the clash between one person's deeply held beliefs and another's responsibility to protect those in their care. We live in a time where personal values can feel like battle lines, and sometimes those lines get drawn in the most unexpected places. In the kitchen, between a bowl of meat-based kibble and the people who can't stand to look at it. What strikes me here is the danger of moral absolutism. The stepdaughter sees the world through a lens of ethics, but in her conviction, she's willing to endanger an animal's health for her own comfort. And that's where conviction turns into control. There's also another layer, a possible hidden struggle. The weight loss, the visceral reactions. Maybe this isn't just about Mango. Maybe this is about her own relationship with food, her own need for control in a space that isn't hers. And if that's true, then the answer isn't to change the cat's diet. The answer is compassion paired with clear boundaries and maybe even professional help. So, to anyone listening, I'll leave you with this. When someone you love asks you to compromise on something you know will cause harm, how far would you bend before you break? And when protecting the vulnerable means saying no to the people you care about, can you live with being called the villain? Let me know what you think. Was the refusal the right thing to do? Or should peace in the house have come before the needs of an aging cat? The floor is yours.